And hello everyone, welcome back to The Decap. Now today, I don't know if you noticed, but the quality of the videos, the sound quality might have been a little less than normal, and that's because I was switching computers, but now I have my mic back, so it should be great quality again. And today, we will be doing something different, as it is a Friday, so we do a little different other than ranking. And today we will be doing a 2020 NBA mock draft, and this will be my 1.0. Now, I did a lottery simulation. I forget the site of the website, but I will put the link in the description. It generates the lottery with the odds. And so I'm going to be doing the first 20 picks today. Starting off with the first pick, the Cleveland Cavaliers, and I have them taking Anthony Edwards, shooting guard, 6'5", out of Georgia. Now, Anthony Edwards, great player. I think most people would have him being taken number one, like just a big board with like no fit included, the fit of the team included. But I feel like he could run three, or the Cleveland Cavaliers, Colin Sexton and Darius Garland, I don't see them both panning out and being great players. So I think it could be maybe Colin Sexton 1, Anthony Edwards 2, Darius Garland as a good six-man. But Anthony Edwards also could be a small forward, as he is 6'5". He wouldn't be the tallest, but it wouldn't be like a bad height. But Anthony Edwards definitely could be used in small ball lineups at the 3, or just regular lineups being at the 2. Great scoring guard, great playmaker, and I am a Michigan State fan, and Anthony Edwards with Georgia played Michigan State. In the first half, he wasn't very good. The second half, he turned it on, though. He finished with like 35 points, and when I think Anthony Edwards, I think this pass, he was at half court, this guy driving in for the layup, one-handed bounce pass through like 4 defenders. Great pass, assist. Anthony Edwards, I love him as a player, going number 1 to the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now, my second pick is the Golden State Warriors, and I think this might be a bit obvious, but because of the fit, and I have them taking James Wiseman, center, 7'1", out of Memphis, kind of Memphis. As we all know, he had the scandal. He played 3 or 4 games, I think, and then he had to go because of Penny Hardaway gave his parents some I think he helped them move in or helped them have a job. I don't know. I'm not going to get into that. Maybe, no, not later, because that was a long time ago. But, okay, Golden State Warriors with the second pick James Wiseman. He's a great center. Well, he is a great center, good defensively. I think he can score at will. And yes, the NBA is moving into a small ball lineup, but just when you have that center presence, it still is lethal, and James Wiseman would fit in beautifully, as when Klay Thompson comes back, with James Wiseman, they could run a lineup of Steph at the 1, Klay at the 2, and Andrew Wiggins at the 3, Draymond at the 4, James Wiseman at the 5, and that is a title contending lineup, and that could definitely stand up to the Lakers, Clippers, and Bucks of the world. So Golden State Warriors, number 2, picking James Wiseman. Now at number 3, the New York Knicks jumped up a bit, and I have them taking the famous, like a big market team, big market player, fits perfectly. You might have already guessed, but I have them taking LaMelo Ball, point guard, 6'7", out of, I'm going to butcher this, the Illawarra Hawks. I don't know. But he plays in New Zealand? He plays Australia, I think, maybe. I don't know. But LaMelo Ball, he grew a lot in high school on the Illawarra Hawks. Illawarra. I don't know. Someone in the comments tell me how to pronounce that. But he's grown a lot throughout his playing time. He's 6'7" now, which could be a great point guard. He's like a Ben Simmons, but I think his jump shot is a little better than Ben Simmons. He can knock down threes, great playmaker. I don't think he's the best defensively, but he could definitely grow into a lethal defensive player, as he is very tall. And the Knicks, it fits with the Knicks because they need a point guard, as he could, I don't know if the fit would be amazing with RJ Barrett, but they could do something like LaMelo Ball. I think Frank Ntilikina could slide in actually nicely next to LaMelo Ball, as he could pick up the better guard. So it could be LaMelo Ball, Frank Ntilikina, RJ Barrett, Julius Randle, Mitchell Robinson, which isn't title contending, but it might be 8 seed worthy, which as a Knicks fan, if they make an 8 seed, I'd be happy. So I like this fit. I really want LaMelo on the Knicks, as he could definitely handle the Knicks, as he has played with a lot of pressure because of his dad. And moving on to the 4th pick, I have the Detroit Pistons taking Deni Avdija, small forward, 6'9", out of Israel. And Detroit Pistons, there are point guards later, but I really think Deni Avdija is better than them, and they need a scoring wing and just a good wing on this team next to Blake Griffin, Luke Kennard. They can get a decent point guard in free agency, or they could re-sign Derrick Rose. I think he signed a 1-year deal. They could do like a Derrick Rose, Luke Kennard, Deni Avdija, Blake Griffin, someone at the center. I don't know who their starting center was after they traded Andre Drummond, but Deni Avdija would slide in very nicely, I think, with the Detroit Pistons, add that little boost of scoring. And as he is 6'9", so he has height. Now, I haven't seen him the most. I've watched a couple highlight reels of him because he plays in Israel, so I don't know. I haven't seen many of his games, but I've seen enough to know he's a great player, great scorer, and I really think he would fit in well on the Pistons. Now, moving on to the 5th pick, I have the Minnesota Timberwolves taking Onyeka Okongwu, power forward / center, 6'9", out of USC. Now, I really think that Onyeka Okongwu would fit in very nicely with the Minnesota Timberwolves, as he is a good defensive player, good rim protector. He's not very good on the perimeter, but he can definitely grow in that department. He is kind of undersized as a power forward / center, but if they run him next to Cat, I think the size wouldn't be much of an issue. And I think he would fit in beautifully next to Cat, as he would be the defensive of the two, and then Cat could make up for where Onyeka Okongwu isn't as good as on the offensive end. As he was good, he just isn't Cat level on the offensive end. And moving on to the 6th pick, I have the Chicago Bulls taking Isaac Okoro, small forward, 6'6", out of Auburn. He might be a little undersized, as 6'6" in this NBA isn't amazing, but as I said before, it is moving into a smaller size lineup, so 6'6" definitely could work. Isaac Okoro is great on the defensive end, great on the offensive end, and he slides in perfectly on the Bulls, as they could run a Kobe White, Zach LaVine, Isaac Okoro, Lauri Markkanen, and Wendell Carter Jr. lineup, and that is an amazing lineup for the future and for the now, as I feel like Zach LaVine could lead them on. Isaac Okoro, I think he would be an immediate impact player. They have Kobe White, who's shown flashes of what could be the next, not like a Damian Lillard. Yeah, I feel Damian Lillard is right for him. But Isaac Okoro would definitely complete the Bulls' youth movement, as they would have 5 young players that can definitely push them into the playoffs and make them a great team heading into the next several years. And now with the 7th pick, I have the Atlanta Hawks taking Obi Toppin, power forward, 6'9", out of Dayton. I really like Obi Toppin as a player. He is young, as he was not a small forward. He's a power forward, as he was a sophomore. So he's not as young as maybe Anthony Edwards, James Wiseman, but he's still relatively young, the age that NBA scouts and coaches love to have on their team. And Obi Toppin would be an immediate impact player for the Atlanta Hawks. Now, I don't think it's the best fit necessarily, but I really think the Atlanta Hawks, at this point, they're just trying to grab all the young talent that they can get. And the next center in the draft isn't as high, isn't like 7th pick worthy. So the Atlanta Hawks definitely could trade down in this position. I feel like they'd want Onyeka Okongwu or James Wiseman, and if they don't get either of those players, they might trade down, but I'm not including trades. And I feel like Obi Toppin could slide in that small forward possibly, because he is 6'9", so not that tall. Or he could be featured in a small ball lineup not at center, but John Collins could run center, or he could run center, I guess, but small ball lineup could be worthy, or he could just be a great 6-man for the Atlanta Hawks. And he would complement John Collins nicely, as he is kind of a do-it-all player, not just offensive as John Collins is, so he could kind of make up for where John Collins lacks. But number 7, Atlanta Hawks taking Obi Toppin. Now, number 8, I have the Charlotte Hornets taking Cole Anthony, point guard 6'3" of North Carolina. Cole Anthony was injured for a lot of the season, came back, couldn't really get wins for North Carolina, but the team wasn't great around him. He showed that his scoring potential. He's not the best on the defensive end, but he's kind of more like a Trae Young player, as he spends all of his energy on offense. Although Cole Anthony isn't as bad as Trae Young on defense, I don't believe. But the Charlotte Hornets could definitely use a point guard, as I feel like Cole Anthony, Devontae Graham backcourt could be nice, as they would score a bunch of points. Defensively, they wouldn't be very good, but just they would score points. And in the NBA, the goal is to score points. So Cole Anthony would slide nice to Devontae Graham, as I really don't see Devontae Graham as a winning point guard. He could be like a 2 complement to Cole Anthony, or just a great 6-man, which I like not Cole Anthony. I like Devontae Graham as a 6-man. But Cole Anthony could definitely start the Charlotte Hornets winning in the future. He could start that, as he is a great scoring point guard that I love Cole Anthony, and I could definitely see him leading the Charlotte Hornets into the playoffs. And I don't know, eventually if they win a championship, I wouldn't be surprised if it is with Cole Anthony. Now, with the 9th pick in the NBA draft, mock draft, I have the Washington Wizards taking another point guard, Killian Hayes, 6'5", out of France. Now, Killian Hayes is a great player out of France, and I haven't, again, with Denny Avdija, as he doesn't play college ball, I haven't seen the most, but I've seen highlight reels, and I like Killian Hayes. I really feel like he could be the steal of this draft, as he could definitely be the next great Washington point guard, as John Wall, he's been injured for almost 2 years. I think he could mentor Killian Hayes into the future, and a Killian Hayes-Bradley Beal future could be nice for the Wizards, as I don't think John Wall will be very good when he comes back, but he'll still have the knowledge, the speed, and could definitely mentor Killian Hayes into a great point guard like he was. Now, number 10, Phoenix Suns, Tyrese Halliburton, point guard, 6'5", Iowa State. Tyrese Halliburton, I've seen a lot of him playing, as I love college ball, and he's just an amazing playmaker, which I feel like Devin Booker would love. Now, Tyrese Halliburton, Devin Booker, Kelly Oubre, power forward, some role player maybe, and then DeAndre Ayton. That's a future that I love, as they're all young players that can score the ball. And defensively, not the best, but again, the NBA is leading to a scoring league. But Tyrese Halliburton, he doesn't score the most. Well, he scores a lot, as he is going to make it to the NBA. So he is a great scorer, but I don't think he'll be a great scorer in the NBA, as his three-point shot isn't amazing. But just the thing I love about Tyrese Halliburton is his playmaking. And I think he would complement Devin Booker amazingly, as he could bring the ball down the court. He would give Devin Booker some relief, and he'd just find Devin Booker open for the shots. And Devin Booker would love Phoenix more if he got a playmaking point guard, which is what Tyrese Halliburton is. Number 11, I have the San Antonio Spurs taking R.J. Hampton, shooting guard / point guard, 6'5", out of New Zealand. Now, once again, I'll say it again, I haven't seen the most of R.J. Hampton, but what I have seen, I love him. Great scorer, decent defender. He has height, 6'5". In the Spurs, he's the Spurs type of guy. He's foreign, which the Spurs love, as we know. And he puts all of his effort into everything he does, which Greg Popovich can work with. And I feel like he could be mentored by DeMar DeRozan, sliding at that 2 with DeJounte Murray. In the future, the Spurs wouldn't be that bad with R.J. Hampton, DeJounte Murray. He could definitely provide some scoring next to DeJounte. And I really like R.J. Hampton on the Spurs. I like that fit. I like R.J. Hampton. I like the Spurs. Now, number 12 I have the Sacramento Kings taking Saddiq Bey, small forward, 6'8", out of Villanova. Now, you might not know who Saddiq Bey is. He might be a little bit of a reach, as he is further down on most people's big boards. But Saddiq Bey is a great player. He plays defense. He plays offense. He led a great Villanova team. He led them to good wins. They obviously were like projected 2 seed in the NCAA draft, and Saddiq Bey was the best player. And I think you have to value winning, as he knows how to win, and he does everything on the basketball court. And I feel like the Sacramento Kings need a small forward, and he would fill that role. He would be amazing next to Buddy Hield and De'Aaron Fox, next to Marvin Bagley, and he'd be one more step closer to them making the playoffs. And I really like this fit. Now at number 13, I have the New Orleans Pelicans taking Tyrese Maxey, shooting guard 6'3", out of Kentucky. Now Tyrese Maxey was kind of inconsistent on the Kentucky Wildcats, and if his best playing, if he did that all the time, then I think he would be higher and he would be a top 10 pick. But he does slide in nicely with the Pelicans, as he will slide in next to Lonzo, give them some scoring, and Lonzo can do more of the playmaking and defense, and Tyrese Maxey will just shoot, score. He won't have the most difficult job, as they have a lot of young pieces. He can just do what he does best, and that's score. Now 14, I have the Portland Trail Blazers taking Devin Vassell, shooting guard / small forward, 6'7", out of Florida State. Now he's just a classic Florida State guy. They put their all into basketball, and they turn out good. And I really think Devin Vassell could be maybe Jonathan Isaac, but I like Devin Vassell more, as I think he could be a better offensive player. As he averaged, 14 or 15 points, which isn't the best, but I really think that Devin Vassell will translate into an NBA scorer and defender. And the Portland Trail Blazers could really use someone like that who can play offense and defense. It would go Damian Lillard, C.J. McCollum, Devin Vassell, Zach Collins, and then why am I blanking? Oh, Yusuf Nurkic. And he could get mentored by Carmelo Anthony, so his offensive game would grow from that, as Carmelo does only offense. And Devin Vassell would become a great player in the NBA, and I really like this pick for the Portland Trail Blazers at 14. Now, moving on to the rest of the 20 picks. That was the lottery. And now I'm going to go through the 15 to 20 pretty quick. Now 15, I have the Boston Celtics taking Daniel Turo. He was slept on going into the season, but he proved he was a great player at Minnesota. He's a center, 6'10", as I mentioned. He goes to Minnesota. Great player. The Celtics need kind of a center, as I see Daniel Tice more of a bench player, but Daniel Turo definitely could make the future of the Celtics brighter, as it already is so bright. But Daniel Turo on the Celtics, great pick by them. Now moving on to the 16th, I have the Orlando Magic taking Nico Mannion, point guard, 6'3", out of Arizona. The Orlando Magic could definitely use some scoring, as they're kind of just an team. He could slide in next to Evan Fournier, give some scoring, but Nico Mannion is a great scorer. He kept Arizona in the NCAA tournament, which the team didn't really click, but he really shined. And I have the Orlando Magic taking him 16th. He would be a nice fit, as they need a point guard. Now 17th, I have the Minnesota T-Wolves taking Theo Maledon, another point guard, 6'4", out of France. Theo Maledon is a great player, great offensively, good defensively. The T-Wolves need a point guard. They don't need a point guard, as they have D'Angelo Russell, but they could definitely run that backcourt, as D'Angelo Russell can play the 2. And it could be Theo Maledon, D'Angelo Russell with I had them taking, who did I have them taking? Oh, Onyeka Okongwu. Yeah, I remember that. Good pick by the T-Wolves on that. But so they'd have Theo Maledon, D'Angelo Russell, and then Onyeka Okongwu and Karl Anthony Towns, which is a great lineup. That's definitely a fun, contending lineup. Would get Minnesota basketball back, baby. And Theo Maledon to the Minnesota T-Wolves at 17. Now 18th, I have the Milwaukee Bucks taking Aaron Nesmith, shooting guard, small forward, 6'6", out of Vanderbilt. Now I'm not going to lie to you, I haven't seen the most Aaron Nesmith basketball, as I don't really watch Vanderbilt basketball, as it's not very good. But I definitely heard of Aaron Nesmith in the headlines, saw a couple of his highlights. Great player, can score the ball, led a Vanderbilt team to not be terrible. And the Milwaukee Bucks could definitely use a shooting guard. Well, actually they don't really need a shooting guard, but he could definitely be a 6-man, or they could run maybe Dante DiVincenzo at the 1, or Aaron Nesmith at the 1, Chris Middleton, Giannis, or even Giannis at the 1 with Dante DiVincenzo, Aaron Nesmith, Chris Middleton, Brooke Lopez. I don't know. Things are getting crazy. I don't know. 18th pick, Milwaukee Bucks take a great offensive player, good defensive player in Aaron Nesmith. And now with the 19th pick, I have the Dallas Mavericks taking Precious Achiuwa, power forward / center, 6'9", almost 6'10", out of Memphis. Now, I think Precious Achiuwa is definitely a power forward. He had to play center because James Wiseman left Memphis, but he definitely is a true power forward. He would slide into Luka next to Kristaps Porzingis and Luka Doncic amazingly, as he would definitely provide some good defense next to KP and some decent offense, as Precious Achiuwa is a great player. He shined on that Memphis team that had a lot of negativity in that 2019 to 2020 season. Now, with the 20th pick, last on my mock draft, I have the Oklahoma City Thunder taking Jaden McDaniels, small forward power forward, 6'10", out of Washington. The Oklahoma City Thunder could definitely use small forward / power forward that could score the ball, as they have Shai Gilgeous, who's a great defender, good scorer, but not the best. They could do a Chris Paul, Shai, Jaden McDaniels, Danilo Gallinari, Steven Adams, which is definitely a 5 to 8 seed. Now, Jaden McDaniels, the Washington team definitely did not live up to expectations, but Jaden McDaniels was good on that team, and I think he definitely deserves to go in the first round. The Oklahoma City Thunder is definitely getting a project player that could prove to be an amazing player. I'll recap my draft. 20, Oklahoma City Thunder taking Jaden McDaniels. 19, Dallas Mavericks taking Precious Achiuwa. 18, Milwaukee Bucks taking Aaron Nesmith. 17, Minnesota T-Wolves taking Theo Maledon. 16, the Magic take Nico Mannion. 15, the Celtics take Daniel Arturo. 14, the Trailblazers take Devin Vassell. 13, the Pelicans take Tyrese Maxey. 12, the Kings take Sadiq Bey. 11, the Spurs take RJ Hampton. 10, the Suns take Tyrese Halliburton. 9, the Wizards take Killian Hayes. 8, the Hornets take Cole Anthony. 7, the Hawks take Obi Toppin. 6, the Bulls take Isaac Okoro. 5, the T-Wolves take Onyeka Okongwu. 4, the Pistons take Deni Avdija. 3, the New York Knicks take LaMelo Ball. 2, the Golden State Warriors take James Wiseman. And 1, the Cleveland Cavaliers take Anthony Edwards. Now, that is my mock draft. I definitely will have more. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you had a great time. I hope you come back for more. Comment anything you would change, any more vids you want to see in the future, and peace.